Hello, my name is Scott Grant. I'm with grayingwithgrace.com. Today I'd like to talk to you about tech tips for caregivers, as well as technology that can help the caregiving experience. First, a little bit about me. Like I said, my name is Scott Grant. I have more than 20 years of experience in the home medical industry, including working for medical equipment manufacturers, as well as a regional durable medical equipment company in West Virginia. I'm a certified senior advisor, meaning I've had specialized training in aging. I'm also a resident certified assistive technology professional, meaning I have the certifications necessary to provide assistive technology products to Medicare recipients. I'm the founder and editor of grayingwithgrace.com. I'm the father of 4 beautiful daughters and 3 wonderful grandkids. I'm also dog dad to Bella, my 9-year-old Border Collie mix. First, let's get down to basics. What is technology? When I say the word technology, what do you think of? Well, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, technology is defined as A, the practical application of knowledge, especially in a particular area, or B, a capability given by the practical application of knowledge. It's this definition that I really like and that we're going to use for our discussion today. Because of this definition, anything that improves the capabilities of the people you care for or improves your ability to care for those people is considered a technology. Here are some common examples of technology. The ones here on the left you may be familiar with. Telephones, tablets, computers, laptops, things like that, as well as apps for all those various devices, medical equipment, and various electronic devices like GPS trackers and such. But on the right-hand side are some things that you may not have thought about. Things like tape and sticky notes. Could those be considered technology? You can use tape to cover up the buttons of a device that you don't want someone with dementia to use, or you could use sticky notes for medication reminders. So, according to our definition, those do improve the capabilities of the people you care for. So yes, they could be considered technology. Other examples are signs, calendars, even things as simple as outlet covers. But what about caregivers? Can caregivers be considered a technology? Do you improve the capabilities of the people you care for? Of course. So yes, you could be considered a technology according to this definition. It's also important when thinking about technology to compare low-tech and high-tech options. Each type does have its own pros and cons when it comes to how easy they are to use, how much they cost to acquire, how easy they are to acquire, as well as how easily they can be defeated or ignored by the person you care for. Low-tech technologies are often easy to use, inexpensive to purchase, they're easy to get, but they are easier to be defeated or ignored. Versus high-tech options, those are often a little more difficult to use, may require programming. They often cost a little bit more. They're sometimes harder to get. They're not readily available at your neighborhood store, but they're more difficult to be defeated or ignored. A common example of this might be in medication reminders. A low-tech option would be using a sticky note to remind someone to take their medications. That's easy to use, they cost pennies, you've probably already got them around the house, but it's easy to ignore or even just remove it and throw that away. But if you compare that to a medication dispenser system, those are a little more difficult to use, they've often got to be programmed, they cost more upfront and may even have a monthly subscription fee. They are more difficult to get. Usually you have to order those or get those from specialty suppliers, but they're more difficult to defeat or ignore. They have alarms, they have notification systems on them, so that people will know if the medication is not taken. Some examples of these technologies are under medication management, which we've talked about. Some low-tech options are things like sticky notes. You can place a sticky note by the cabinet, or a kitchen cabinet, or by the medicine cabinet. Reminder calls, hey mom, did you take your medication today? You could set up a daily calendar checklist where you list out the medications they need to take every day and then just have them check them off when they do take them. Caregivers can help be responsible for medication management, or just a simple pill box which helps organize the medications without worrying about a timer. Some higher tech options are Alexa reminders. Hey Alexa, remind me to take my lisinopril every day at noon. Or pill boxes with alarms and apps that also serve as reminders when it's time to take your medication. Phone and tablet apps can also serve as reminders without the addition of the pill box. Then there's also fully automatic and automated pill dispensers. Some specific examples of these are the Sage Smart weekly pill organizer there in the center. That is mainly an organizer. There is no reminder system for that. On the top right, you have the Med Center monthly medication organizer. This one will hold a month of medication at a time. You have 4 different dosages per day, and it's also color-coded so that they can tell what day of the month they're on. It does come with and without a reminder system. The one pictured here does have the reminder clock. Below that, you have the MedReady 1700 medication pill dispenser. This one uses a tray with slots which holds the medications. You preload the machine. Then when it's time to take the medication, the alarm sounds, the slot moves into position, and then they just lift the white door and dispense the medications. The next one is the Hero automatic pill dispenser system. This is a fully automatic medication system. They touch the button on the front when the alarm sounds, and the medication comes out the bottom. The alarm does continually increase in volume until they do that, but also it has an app that the caregiver puts onto their phone that they use to program the device, and they will also get notifications if the medication is not taken on time. This system even comes with a full medication refill system as well. Some home safety options, some low-tech options are sticky notes and signs, which we've talked about. Unplugging or removing any appliances that may cause problems. Child locks and latches are common with people with dementia for keeping them out of a cabinet or a room that might cause them danger. Stove locks prevent stoves from being used without caregiver assistance. Night lights and motion lights. Those are great for people who may wander at night or get up to use the bathroom and won't turn on the lights by themselves. This will automatically do that for them. And contrasted surfaces. There's been a lot of studies about this lately, especially with people with dementia, that by providing a contrasted surface, they can see different elevations better, as you can see in the picture on the right. That red rug is a clue to them that they're approaching the tub edge and the edge of the toilet. Handrails on stairways, and then medical equipment, things such as basic mobility equipment. Some high-tech options for home safety are simple appliances like toaster ovens and toasters that work with a one-button operation or just a simple dial control. Electric cookers that can be used in place of a stove. Smart detectors like fire detectors and carbon monoxide detectors that can notify caregivers. Smart outlets that can be programmed. Temperature-controlled faucets can help limit the temperature of a faucet to reduce the chance of a burn, as well as specialized medical equipment. Here are some examples of those. The top middle there is the Fire Avert system. This system will automatically cut off the power to an appliance should it detect a fire, and there are both electronic and gas options for that. In the middle, you have a smart plug system that comes with an app. You can limit the times of day those outlets can be used. You can get notifications when they're turned on and even check the history of those. Next to that is the Yodel faucet. This faucet is an automatic faucet that is also temperature limiting. You can program it to what maximum temperature it will reach. The Drive Bella Vita bath lift there in the bottom is a great device for people who live alone but want to be able to take a bath. With this device, it will lower them down into the tub, they can take their bath, and then it will raise them back up afterwards, all at the simple touch of a button. It's even got a safety built into it that it will not lower them into the tub if it doesn't have enough power to bring them back up. Next to that is the Super Pot. This is an electric cooking device that can be used to fry, boil, or just heat up foods. It just has a simple knob control on it. And then finally, the knob stopper. This is a device where you can place the knobs of the stove in between those pinchers, and then a caregiver has to release those before the stove can be used. Fall prevention and detection devices. These some low-tech options here are just a declutter. If there's things in the way they can trip over, get rid of them. Footwear, if they're commonly used to wearing fuzzy slippers, those should be replaced with something with a rubber non-slip sole. It's also important that the heel is covered as well to prevent slippers that will just fall off. Provide visual contrast like we just talked about. Safety gates at the tops or entries of stairways can be helpful. Night lights and motion lights we've talked about, as well as glowing light switches so people can easily find the light switch in the dark. Some higher tech options are fall prevention mattresses with raised edges that reduce the chance of falling from bed. Motion sensors that can automatically notify a caregiver if someone gets out of bed. Call buttons that work just like the ones in a hospital, allow a person to call for help. Bed pads and chair alarms. Fall alert watches that automatically detect falls. And then medical alert systems and even smart speakers like Alexa and Google Home can be programmed to call for help with the use of certain keywords. Here are some specific examples of this category. We have the Skill Care bed bolsters. Those have raised edges on the sides, making it difficult to roll out of bed. Also makes it difficult for people to get out of bed on their own because of the need to climb over those edges. The Smart Caregiver, bed and chair alarm pads. Those are pressure-sensitive pads that detect when a person gets out of bed or steps on a floor. Then it will page a caregiver or sound an alarm. Caregiver call buttons and alarms. Those are like the ones at the hospital. They just press the red button and that can page a caregiver for assistance. And the Lively Wearable 2 watch you see, that's made by the same company that makes the Jitterbug cell phones, and it automatically detects a fall and interacts with a medical alert system to call dispatch to see if the person needs help. Remote monitoring and GPS tracking. Most of these options are on the higher tech side. There is a lower tech option of a daily check-in app I'll talk about in just a moment. But the high tech options are full medical alert systems, GPS tracking watches, vehicle tracking systems that track vehicles when they're powered up and moving, discrete trackers, which can be placed into shoe soles or purses or clothing, as well as in-home camera systems that can monitor and provide two-way communications. You know, one thing to keep in mind with any GPS tracking or remote monitoring devices is to always get the consent of the people who are using the device. There are legalities and there are privacy concerns here, so you should always check with an attorney, get their consent. If they're not able to give consent in cases like dementia or Alzheimer's, and you have a power of attorney, check with your attorney just to check the laws of your municipality and where you live to make sure that you are within those limits and are doing everything legally. GPS tracking devices, while sometimes considered invasive, have tremendous benefits, especially with people with dementia who may wander and get lost. By combining some of these devices, like the watches, you can monitor them in the home to make sure that they're safe within the home. And then even vehicle trackers. You can track their vehicle as they're out driving if it's still safe for them to do so. Again, you can set a safe zone so that they can operate within their safe zone and they won't feel like they're being continually monitored. But you can get a notification if in fact that they do step outside that safe zone, and can check on them and make sure that they are okay. Some examples of this are the Theora Care tracking watch. That's a very simple, easy to use watch that a senior or elderly person especially might wear anyway. However, it's tied to an app on the caregiver's cell phone. That app allows the watch to be tracked. You can set safe zones that as long as they stay within that safe zone, you won't get a notification, but you will be notified as soon as they step out of it. In the center is the Snug Safe check-in app. That app allows people to check in automatically. If they don't check in at a certain time, they will get a text notification telling them it's time to check in. If they don't answer that, they'll get a phone call. If they don't answer the phone call, the caregivers get a phone call. If that call isn't answered, then we'll call 911 to do a welfare check. So that's a great system for people that still live alone, and it's a non-intrusive way to check in on them daily. Next to that's the InvisiWare jewelry line. That line does work with a cell phone, so it does require cell phone access, but it works as a panic button. They can just touch the piece of jewelry and it will call 911 or someone that they designate as an emergency contact. Below that is the Vinx vehicle tracker. That tracks vehicles and is a very easy to use system. It plugs right in the diagnostic port just underneath the steering wheel. You can also set a safe zone with that and get notifications if they go outside of that safe zone. And then the Smart Soles, GPS Smart Sole slippers, soles, those track people as well. You just have to put those into their shoes. The drawback there is that it has to be the shoes that they wear most commonly. Next to that is the Ring camera system. That works with the Ring doorbells, but that provides you a way to monitor the inside of the home 24/7. And it even has two-way communications, which allow you to communicate with them back and forth. Some phones and communication ideas, some low-tech options are just placing a phone list next to the phone, large button phones for people with visual problems. Emergency button phones provide a one-touch option for calling either a caregiver or 911. Photo dial buttons use pictures of people instead of phone numbers for speed dialing, so they just touch the photo of the person they want to call. Corded phones are a great option if you're worried about people losing cordless phone handsets. Although many cordless phone handsets today do have paging systems you can use to locate them. And then also flashing ringer systems for people with hearing difficulties, are bright red lights that flash when the phone rings. Some higher tech options are easy to use tablets, the RAS Mobility Memory Phone. Samsung phones, most people don't realize, have a built-in easy mode on those that you can just set up in the menu settings, as well as the video chat apps and devices. Some examples here are in the top middle there is the RAS Memory Cell Phone. This is one of my favorite products, especially for people with dementia. They have one screen that just has photos of the people that they can dial, and then an emergency phone contact button at top. But on the back end, there is an app that the caregiver could put on their phone that controls all aspects of that phone. They can control who calls in, who they can call out. You'll even get notifications if the people aren't charging the phone. Next to that is the Simple Photo Phone. That's a very basic, easy to use landline phone that adds the photo dial buttons on top. Below that is the ViewClick Smart Frame. This works like any of the smart photo frames you've probably seen. You can upload photos to that via the internet, but it also does work as a two-way video chat system, and you have complete control over who can access that system. Below that is an example of the Samsung Easy Mode that you can turn on in most Samsung phones through your menu settings. And finally, the GrandPad, which is a simple, easy-to-use tablet designed for seniors and elderly people that just gives the basic functions of a phone, email, games, and chat. Entertainment and daily living aids. Some low-tech options here are just very basic remote controls that can control the channel and the volume. TV speakers so they can hear the TV better. One-button radios. Lightweight vacuum cleaners make for easier cleaning. Touch lamps are often easier to control than the ones with the twist switches. Simple alarm clocks that are easy to program and to hear. Electronic calendars, and even voice recorders. Some high-tech options here are smart doorbells, audiobook players, TV headphones. PSAPs are personal sound amplification products. Those are lower cost options to hearing aids. Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids will actually sync with a cell phone or a TV, allowing the sound to go through the hearing aids directly. And smart thermostats for controlling the temperature of the home. Some examples here that's an electronic calendar that shows the day and date. Next to that is the Maxi Pro listening system. That's a PSAP that works like a very basic remote control to allow people to hear better. Below that's the Rosie reminder system, which is an electronic calendar with a built-in reminder. Below that is the simple one-button radio. You preset to one station or upload with MP3 music. Then the Sensi Smart Thermostat. That's simple for the people at the house to control. It only uses 2 buttons, but caregivers can get notifications and can program the device through their smartphones. And then the audio range TV headphones, which allow seniors to hear the TV better while the rest of the people can use the normal volume of the TV. So wrapping up, it's always important to consider low-tech options as well as high-tech options. Sometimes the lower-tech option is the better choice. Adapt the technology to the user, not the other way around, and look for a solution that fits in the current routine. Don't try to force the way people want to do things just to use a piece of technology that you like or think is cool. Always discuss it with them first. It's better to always get their consent and get their buy-in. That'll make both people much happier. And finally, when using any GPS type devices or anything that might be a potential invasion of privacy, it's always important to consider the ethical and legal concerns of that. You should always get consent to use those types of devices, and if they aren't able to give legal consent and you have a power of attorney, just check with your attorney first about the legalities in your area to make sure that it is safe to use. So fortunately, one thing I get to hear frequently is from caregivers who get to use technologies like these to improve the lives of the people they care for, as well as to give yourself peace of mind. So always consider the benefits of these technologies, how they can improve things for you and the people you care for, but also take into account how they're going to affect the overall quality of life and the caregiving journey. So thankfully, I get to hear from caregivers and daily about how these technologies are able to improve the quality of life for the people they care for, as well as to give themselves peace of mind. A great example of this is people who would like to continue being able to cook. There's lots of technologies that can help make cooking safe so that they can still doing that activity that they enjoy to do, but can give you, the caregiver, peace of mind that there won't be fires or accidents, and that if there are, there's a plan in place or a technology that can help identify that and even take care of that need for you. So it's always important with technology to see both the benefits of them, but to make sure how they're fully implemented as well to the benefit of both you and the person you care for. Well, thank you for your time today. Again, my name is Scott Grant with grayingwithgrace.com. You can reach me there, or for more information about anything I've talked about today, you can reach me at grayingwithgrace.com/caregiver-event. Thanks for your time.